What is up, everybody? How's it going? Happy Tuesday night. Welcome to episode 2. Do we call it episodes? I guess. I'm calling it episode 2. Welcome to episode 2 of the JARcast, my movie podcast. Give it just a couple of minutes before we kick things into full swing, but I got a few things to talk about tonight. Not a ton of news in the movie world, but there's what I got I think is good. It's the stuff I found interesting, at least. I'm not going to go over every single news thing that happened this week, but there are a few things concerning Tomb Raider, another Tomb Raider movie, a whole bunch of movies getting slid back, some almost more than a year in some cases. A classic, I guess, a cult classic at least, getting a remake, possibly, sort of, kind of. A reboot that some people are saying they want and some people are concerned about. And we're also going to look at one little gaming thing that kind of blew up last week I wanted to talk about just briefly there at the end. And we're going to take a look at 2 trailers, both of which came out this week. One was this weekend. Probably know which one that is. It's 2 big titans throwing down. And then another one just came out today, I believe it was. And also we're going to talk a little bit about a movie that I reviewed this week that came out of nowhere. I remember seeing the trailer a while back, and I thought, yeah, that looks neat, but the movie, yeah, I just want to talk about it a few minutes. And yeah, then we'll get out of here. Alrighty then. So let's go ahead and jump right into this week's news. I still don't have any bumpers or anything. Eventually I will, but let's go ahead and jump right over into that. So, I know that a few of you, at least, are video game fans. And I obviously, anyone who knows my channel, am a video game movie fan. Well, to a degree, I guess. I'll call them as I call them. Some of them are shit, and I recognize that a lot of them are shit. But let's talk about a video game movie real quick that's forthcoming, and that would be the new Tomb Raider. So Tomb Raider 2 has got a writer and a director. No release date as of yet. I thought there was a release date too, but apparently not. They're shooting for next year, I think is what I wrote, or what I read. And that director, it will be a direct sequel to the 2016 Tomb Raider that we got last time. That's based on the newer Tomb Raider games that started in 2013. I really, really like those games. I don't know about you guys, but I was aware. I'd played Tomb Raider before the 2013 games, and I thought they were fine, but they just never. There was one of them I played all the way through, and I was like, yeah, it was pretty cool. It was like I think it was a remake of the first one or something like that on the 360, but for the most part, I thought Tomb Raider was fine, but it just didn't ever really. I wasn't like a hardcore fan or anything, but since the 2013 one came out, and those 3 games that have come out since then, those games are awesome. I love them. I love the look, the atmosphere, everything, and that's where the movie from 2016 pulled from. And coincidentally, I will be reviewing in the next few weeks, by the way. It's coming up in my video game movie review list, or series, rather. But it is 2021, and we are apparently getting a sequel to that movie, and it's going to be written and directed by Misha Green. And Misha Green, I was not familiar with her, but I am familiar with some of her work. She is apparently who is in charge of Lovecraft Country, the creator of Lovecraft Country. I myself haven't seen Lovecraft Country as of yet. I know it's in its first season, I believe, and I kind of wanted to let it maybe finish a season out before I would watch it. I've seen it on HBO Max sitting there, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to give that a watch at some point. I'm a Lovecraft fan, and it looked like a neat show, and I've heard good things about it, but I wanted to give it a little bit of time before I sat down so I could watch a whole bunch of them at once. But I hear it's really good. She's done some other things as well, or she's working on something. She's apparently working. She worked on Sons of Anarchy, a show called Underground. I'm not familiar with that one. She also worked, or she is working. She's producing an action film called The Mother for Netflix. I haven't heard of that one either, but she's keeping busy. Apparently, she's bursting onto the scene and just doing some shit. But she is also now going to be writing and directing Tomb Raider 2, which I doubt they'll call it that, but we're going to go with Tomb Raider 2 for right now. And we will see the return of Alicia Vikander as Lara Croft again. She played the part in the original 2016 movie. From what I remember about that movie, she did good. She had the look. She had the physicality. I don't recall her being a bad actress. I don't remember a ton about that movie. We'll see. I remember it being okay. Maybe this young woman, seeing as how she's had a lot of success with Lovecraft Country and some of these other things, perhaps she'll give it something fresh, and Tomb Raider 2 will be awesome. You know, honestly, when it comes to the Tomb Raider movies, the Angelina Jolie ones that came out years ago, there were, what was it? The second one, The Cradle of Life. Most people really trashed that movie. I actually enjoyed that movie. I actually enjoyed part 2 more than I did part 1, because part 1 was like goofy, but it would never commit to it. But the second one, it's like they just totally committed to it. They said, okay, we're goofy as shit. Let's just go with it. Just roll with it. I mean, she's like punching sharks, and there's growling sharks. She's riding them, doing all kinds of crazy shit. They just went all out. And I enjoyed The Cradle of Life more. Both of them weren't great movies in my opinion, but Cradle of Life was more entertaining. So hopefully there will be a repeat, and this one will be better than the last one. I don't remember the last one being terrible though, but yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's neat news. I'm anytime that they talk about doing another video game movie, you know, that's kind of like could be good, could be bad. You never fucking know with these things. I mean, it could be another Uwe Boll movie, or it could be like another, I don't know, Mortal Kombat or Prince of Persia or something like that. It could be a great flick. With this one, I'll say that the groundworks, the bones, the skeleton, if you will, for a good movie and an entertaining movie are there. Like Lara Croft, and especially the tone of the new Tomb Raider could be a really kick-ass entertaining movie, very like Indiana Jonesy kind of. So we'll see if that's the way they go. Probably a little bit more serious than Indiana Jones, but that kind of like exploring tombs and stuff like that. It could be neat. Apparently the last one did very well. It made just under $275 million globally, which I still don't think that's the highest grossing video game film ever made. I think that is still Warcraft. I'd have to double check that. But that's still a lot of fucking money, seeing as how that movie probably cost somewhere in the neighborhood of about $60,000 to make. So, yeah. I mean, not 60 grand. What the fuck? 60 million. Probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about 60 million. It made 275. I'm going to say it was a success. And I remember people having fairly good things to say about it. So, yeah, Lara Croft. Holy shit, I can't talk tonight. Lara Croft, Tomb Raider 2, tentatively. Who's excited about it? I don't know. Hopefully you guys are. Yeah, Tomb Raider 2. I don't know. Did any of you guys like the 2016 Tomb Raider? Did any of you guys see the 2016 Tomb Raider? Any Tomb Raider fans in here? And if so, are you looking forward to Misha Green's Tomb Raider 2? I mean, I guess I am. I'll have to wait to see the trailer or something, hear more about it. As of right now, I mean, I'd say I'm kind of, okay, sure. I mean, I'll see it when it comes out. So, moving on, what else we got? Oh, we've also got this week Universal and just pretty much everybody, Sony, a shit ton of fucking movies just got scooted out of 2021, or at least the beginning of 2021. A whole lot of movies have been shifted and rescheduled, and apparently the catalyst for all of it was No Time to Die. James, or 007 is No Time to Die. It got shifted, pushed back again. And as soon as they pushed it back, it has been pushed. They reshuffled it to, I don't know, it's somewhere on here, I'm sure. They pushed it back. I don't think that movie's ever going to fucking come out, which I don't know. That doesn't bode well for it, because I think everyone's accepted the fact that these things, the movies they're going to come to select theaters, I guess. But really, they're focusing on like VOD and streaming platforms this year. And MGM, who's making, I think MGM makes James Bond movies. They used to. But I'm sure they are as well. So I don't know why they keep pushing it out. I mean, it's just that's just what it is. Go ahead and release the fucking thing. It kind of makes me worried. Is that the only reason? Is because of theaters? I mean, everybody knows that probably for the rest of this year, all of 2021, if not the vast majority of 2021, theaters are going to be closed, or they're going to be limited like they are now. So I don't really see the point. Just release the damn thing. But apparently when they did that, because I guess it's the next real big movie that was slated. Nothing, I mean, maybe Black Widow, but that's coming to Disney Plus. But that was like the big one. That was the tenet of so far of this year. Everybody was looking forward to, and it got pushed back again. And as soon as it did, like a slew of like smaller movies, smaller big movies, if you will, got pushed back too. We got like Last Night in Soho. That's Edgar Wright's new movie. The guy behind like Shaun of the Dead and End of the World and stuff like that. End of the World, not End of the World. World's End. Ghostbusters Afterlife, which, Jesus, when the fuck? That movie was supposed to come out, I think last May it was definitely last summer. I mean, by the time this fucking thing comes out, it would have been done for well over a year. The Uncharted movie, which I didn't even know it had a release date, but apparently it was supposed to be coming out the beginning of this year. Morbius, again, this is at least the second time it's been pushed. And a whole lot of other ones. Morbius was the one that caught my eye, oddly enough. Last Night in Soho is one of the Edgar Wright's movies. I always love them, but I never look forward to them. I don't know why that is. He makes great movies. Everything he makes is awesome. But whenever I like hear about him and I hear a description of him, I'm like, that'll be fun. I guess, whatever. I'm not looking forward to it. And then it comes out, and I'm like, that movie was fucking awesome. So I don't know. I'll want to see it, and I'll see it when it comes out. But Nobody. This one got pushed back a little bit as well. That one's supposed to come out next month, and apparently it's coming out in April. Nobody actually looks pretty cool. I'm not really sure of the tone of the movie. It almost looks like it's going to be a kind of a gritty John Wickish type of movie, like in tone. But it's got Bob Odenkirk. And he is typically the guy who played Saul in Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. And he typically plays comedy roles, but now he's going to be like this hard badass in this movie, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to have a comedic turn to it. The trailer did not look like it. I mean, the trailer looked cool, but yeah, that's gotten pushed back. Ghostbusters Afterlife, which I thought looked pretty neat. I mean, for what they had to work with. I don't know where that movie's going to go and like what the tone and all of it is going to be, but I mean, the trailer that I saw like 5 years ago looked pretty cool. Uncharted, apparently Tom Holland, I had heard he was going to be Nathan Drake in Uncharted. That movie is apparently already done, I guess. I don't know. I mean, is it already done or it's about to be done? But it's been pushed back. And it looks like most of them have been pushed either to 2022 or to the end of this year. Like, except for Nobody, it got just pushed back to April 2nd, if it actually comes out then. But you got stuff like Edgar Wright. Last Night in Soho is coming out in April, which it was supposed to be coming out right here in the beginning of the year. And let me see, where there were some more concrete ones down here. We've got, the Uncharted movie, as I say, unsurprisingly got pushed back to February 11th, 2022. I don't know when I don't even know if that had an official date, so that might not be a pushback. That might just be they've finally said, hey, this one's coming out in 2022. Morbius definitely did. It was already supposed to be out. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember what the original date for Morbius was, but I'm pretty sure it was already supposed to have come out. And it got pushed back, and now it's been pushed back again to a fucking year. It's coming out actually almost to the day. It is the 26th right now. It is getting pushed back to January 21st, 2022. Jesus, that movie is done, completed, in the fucking can. What is going on? It's a Marvel one, so that's got to be Disney. Disney's got to be produced, or at least I don't know if they made it with the whole Fox thing. I'm pretty sure they did. But yeah, I guess is Disney making that one? Is that a Marvel like a MCU movie? I don't think so. I don't think that's an MCU movie. I'd have to look into that. Who? Sony. Oh, no, that's Sony. Never mind. That's the Sony Marvel. So, I mean, he could be in with like Spider-Man and Venom and all that. But yeah, that movie, it's been fucking done either way, and it's coming out a fucking year from now. That's ridiculous. And we got some other smaller movies, Peter Rabbit 2, Cinderella, all of it's just a whole lot of fucking movies. The Kingsman, I was really looking forward to that one. It's gone from all the way to August 20th. Why? Why August? They're like pushing everything out of the beginning of the year, and there's like nothing coming out right now. Nothing is coming out in the beginning of the year. This is when you release a fucking movie, man. There's no competition. Release something, and I bet it'll do well. I mean, we there's some stuff coming out, I guess, closer to summertime, and a lot of it's tentative. And there's a lot of smaller movies, but as far as big studio movies, there's nothing really coming out right now that anybody's like hyped about. Release these fucking movies. Release some of them. So, Antlers, that's another one. October 29th, 2021. What the fuck? That movie was supposed to come out. I think it's been a year. It's already been pushed back like a year or close to it. I think it was supposed to come out at the beginning of last year, and now it's been pushed out till the end of this year. Holy shit. I really see a lot of these movies possibly getting like released online early or something like that, because usually when you have movies just sitting in the can on the shelf, they happen to find their way onto the internet at some point. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of these like popping up online, people like pirating them and shit like that. I don't know. Any of these you guys disappointed about? I mean, I guess I'm not. I guess I wanted to see them. Like all of them look fun. Antlers, that looked really kind of out there and weird, but I wanted to see that. And Ghostbusters, that's cool. Some of these other ones, Morbius, sure, why not? Last Night in Soho, like I said, that's one of those movies I won't be hyped for until I see it, and I'll probably love it. But, you know, I mean, I get maybe that's why. Maybe these movies are all just kind of like those mid-range big movies or mid-range studio movies, and they're pushing them out. They're afraid they won't do well now. I just think this is the time to do it. Pushing everything to the end of the fucking year when everybody else is pushing stuff out, these movies will get drowned out then. Release them now. All right, so what's next? Yeah, lots of shit getting pushed out, just like 2020. What the fuck is new? Speaking of what's new, anybody ever heard of a movie came out in the 80s called Alien Nation? There's a TV show in the 90s too. So any fans of either the old 90s show or the old movie from 1988 had James Caan and who was it? Terrence Stamp? I think Terrence Stamp was the alien. Well, if you are into that, then you'll be happy that they are apparently doing a reboot or a remake or something like that. Kind of, sorta. I mean, yeah, but no. Anyway, apparently, I don't know. Jeff Nichols, I'm not sure what all he has done. He's got a, he's got a lot of stuff on his plate that he is working on now. But he was apparently working with Fox, who originally owned the rights to Alien Nation, on developing a remake or a reboot of Alien Nation. And they gave him the go-ahead, and it was supposed to be a big-budget thing. I think he said somewhere like $100 million film studio, or studio film. And they were working on it. He wrote it. It was there. He said it was great. He had all this stuff lined up. And then the House of Mouse, fucking Disney, comes in and takes over Fox and said, "Oh, no, that you're working on, fuck off. You're not doing that." And he said he was like just crushed. So he almost had this passion project. He had gotten the green light for this passion project, and then it got kiboshed when Disney came in and said, "No, that's not our thing." I mean, it had a silver lining, I guess, because they came up, and apparently he either pitched it to him or they called him up and said, "Hey, remember that Alien Nation thing you were working on? What do you think? Maybe work on it again, but instead do a show." So he got the okay to turn his Alien Nation script into a 10-episode series, which I assume will be on Disney Plus. Maybe? I don't know. I don't know if this, because it makes me wonder because I wonder what other stipulations Disney put on this, because it is Disney, and Alien Nation isn't like, I mean, I remember Alien Nation. I remember really liking Alien Nation. I remember it being a neat movie. I haven't seen it in years. I didn't ever really watch the show from the 90s, but I remember the movie and thinking it was pretty cool. And I could see it working, but I also remember Alien Nation being very R-rated, and Alien Nation was pretty fucking hardcore, man. Like, I think, like, if I remember correctly, Saltwater, which they're in LA, so they're surrounded by it, but saltwater is like acid to the aliens, and they take a bunch of them out there and they melt like that guy in the end of fucking RoboCop a lot of the times. It's really graphic. Lots of people getting shot and just really old school 80s over-the-top gore. There's a lot of that in that movie. So I do wonder if this guy's an Alien Nation fan. I would imagine he's probably interested in staying with that spirit, keeping with that spirit of the original. I just don't see that at Disney. I'm not saying that Disney can't have those kind of movies. They have like TriStar Sony. They have like Buena Vista and stuff like that. They have their offshoot studios that they usually put their harder core stuff under. But I don't know. They might. Were they going to put that on Disney Plus? I don't know. It doesn't seem like a fit. You turn on Disney Plus and you got like The Fox and the Hound and Frozen and fucking rated R Alien Nation. I don't know if it's a fit. I do wonder what they'll do with that. If they create this show that's created within Disney, but it doesn't really have a place on Disney Plus, where do they put it? So I guess we'll find out. It's got the green light. Apparently it's going ahead. And I'm more afraid though that instead of it being that hardcore R-rated, it's going to be nerfed. They're going to like tone it way down. And I mean, I'm not saying a good story is a good story regardless of rating, but I don't know. That was some of the stuff I remember about that movie as being kind of hardcore. So we'll see, I guess. It's not out. Does not as of yet have a release date or anything like that. I would imagine if they're this far along where they're announcing it, probably looking at like a early next year or late this year, possibly. But yeah, we'll see. It looks like this guy really, I mean, in hearing him talk about it, Nichols seems like he really is into Alien Nation. If you haven't seen Alien Nation, I recommend checking it out. I don't know where, since, the whole Fox thing, Fox did own it. I don't know where you would end up watching it or streaming it, but check it out if you can find it somewhere. It's a neat little movie. From what I remember, once again, it's been a long time since I saw it, so if you check it out and you're like, that was corny as fuck, why did you recommend that? It's like I said, from what I remember, it is. Not the show. I never watched the show, so I can't validate that, but the movie was pretty cool from what I remember. I think they get drunk on milk, too, or something like that. I can't remember. I think they're like slaves or something, and they crash land. There's like an alien ship full of slaves, and they crash landed, and it's like hundreds of thousands of them, or maybe thousands of them, I don't know, and they integrate into into like a human civilization or something like that. And there's, of course, some biases and some, I guess, racism or whatever you would call it. They're looked down upon and stuff like that. So I guess it could be, maybe that's what it could be topical for nowadays, or maybe we don't need more of that. I don't know. But need it or not, we're fucking getting it. So I would imagine probably the end of this year, beginning of next year, we will be seeing something about Alien Nation, and I'll be there to check it out because I do have fond memories of the old one. Speaking of reboots, that seems to be kind of a reboots and remakes. That seems to be a trend this week in the news. Not a big story, but a little something. I didn't even realize it was this far along, but Resident Evil, the movie reboot, they're done making it. It's made. They've already shot it, and it's wrapped. It wrapped this week, and this is the final set photo they had right here of this old school TV and their clapboard, titled just Resident Evil. It is supposed to apparently, I was reading up on it, I knew that they were going to make a Resident Evil, like they were redoing it, they were rebooting the franchise without Paul W.S. Anderson and Milla Jovovich and all that, because they ended it with the last one, the final chapter. I knew they were going to, but I didn't know they had already fucking made it. And apparently it was a big budget. It's a big budget reboot. I mean, this is not like a cheap movie. This is a big budget movie with Sony Pictures behind it, just like the other ones have been. And they filmed it. They started filming in November, and they just finished this week. So that's like really fucking fast for a big budget studio flick. That's really fast in like regular time, but during the pandemic, holy crap, they they kicked ass making this fucking movie. This may possibly be, and I mean, it's supposed to come out. It was, I think it got pushed out just a bit, but it's coming out this year. Like at some point around the end of this year, probably if I had to guess, like October or so. Maybe it says on here. It does not. But it's coming out this year. It is coming out in 2021. It's directed by Johannes Roberts. The guy who made, or the person who made 47 Meters Down. I like that movie. The first one. The second one was fucking terrible. I think that was different people all around, though. But yeah, that was a good movie. That was a fun movie. So who knows what we're going to get. It's supposed to fall much more in line with the original movie, or the original games. It even takes place in the 90s. That's kind of why we got this old school TV right here. Even though TV, I mean, that looks like a TV from the 80s. But I guess you'd be more likely to see a TV like this in the 90s than like nowadays. But it's apparently going back to the 90s for some reason, and it's trying to go back to the roots of the games. Like there's a silhouette of one of the zombies. This is really all we've seen of the movie. When I go to look for pictures, none of it. There's nothing from the new one, nothing at all. There's some actor. It shows some of the actors and stuff, but not in costume or anything like that. So, holy shit, they made that movie really fucking fast. Hopefully that's a good sign. Hopefully that just shows he's a really efficient director who just on his shit. I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, I think one of the things I kind of in seeing that this is more or less a non-story. If it weren't the fact that I didn't even know they were fucking shooting this right now. And I mean, it's already done. But they can't finish the fucking Batman. What the hell? They've been shooting that movie for like a fucking year, blaming like COVID or the pandemic is why they can't do it. These fuckers just came in dead in the middle of the shit and made a whole entire fucking movie, and they're done. I mean, the movie's not done. Obviously, they have all the principal photography is done. They've shot the vast majority of the movie. They'll probably have some like pickup shots and things like that, and of course all the post-production and special effects. But I mean, the going out there physically shooting the movie parts, except for some pickups or something they may do, is done. I mean, the Batman is still shooting. They are not done with that movie yet. What the fuck? Figure that shit out. What the hell? Clearly, these people know how to. It is possible to make a movie during these times, unless we see this movie and it's just like clear that it was made during the pandemic. I am curious to see this because this might actually end up being one of the first big studio flicks that we get, because it seems like this movie's going to come out on time this year. This might be one of the first big studio flicks we get that was made wholly in the pandemic and releases, because everything else is either getting pushed out beyond then or it wasn't made then, like it wasn't shot during the pandemic. It was shot like prior to March of 2020. Or a lot of the things just can't fucking finish their movies, like the Batman. They just can't fucking finish it, or they're just not shooting things. Like they're shooting the Mission Impossible movie right now, obviously, because we saw that shit with Tom Cruise, but it's like taking them forever to do it. But apparently this guy's on his shit. He knows what he's doing. So if nothing else, he is an efficient director. Hopefully, he's an efficient storyteller. We'll find out I'm assuming, if I had to guess, I could probably look somewhere. I thought it had the date in here, but I'm assuming that it'll probably be around the end of... Oh, wait, here it is. Yeah, Resident Evil Reboot is currently expected to arrive on September 9th, 2021. Holy crap. Yeah, man, that'll be here in no time at all. I mean, that leaves them... Hell, what, 9 months? 9 months to put the finishing touches on this shit. So, we'll see. But yeah, Resident Evil, I'm a fan. I recognize their issues and their shortcomings, but I am a fan. It's like guilty pleasure of the original Resident Evil movies, the Paul W.S. Anderson ones. He didn't make them all. He was involved, at least on the producing side of all of them, but he didn't write and direct all of them. I think he wrote all of them, but he didn't direct all of them. Either way, I'm a fan of those movies. I know that they're schlocky, and they're not great movies, but they're fun. Some of them are. And, so I'm looking forward to see what this one's going to do, what it's going to change, or if it's going to go back to grassroots. We'll see. I got one more news item I want to jump into, and we're going to switch over, even though this has been kind of a video game, movie-heavy week as far as the stuff I'm going over with the Resident Evil and the Tomb Raider. And I think we even touched on Uncharted there. But in the world of movies, yeah, there's always something else going on, but that was the stuff I was interested in. I wanted to talk about. There's one more news story, but we're going to transition over to video games for just a minute. And that is going to be, we're going to talk about Microsoft for a minute. Just real quick, I know not all of you are gamers, but even if you're not a gamer, I think this isn't really so much about a game. This is about a decision that I think anybody can appreciate. Those of you that follow me will know that I'm a fan of Xbox. As far as I play on PC. I don't play games nearly as much as I used to. I mean, I play them every Wednesday here, but I don't play games nearly as much as I used to, especially with my YouTube channel. I just don't have time. But when I do, and it comes to consoles, I'm an Xbox fan. I don't dislike PlayStation or anything like that. I don't have one. I've had them in the past. I've just always gravitated towards the Xbox and their ecosystem and the games that they release. That's not to say that I don't think there's some stuff on the PlayStation I'm like, well, that looks pretty cool. I'd like to play that. Some of their exclusives. But as far as like most of the games I want to play are on this platform. And I just like the platform. I enjoy their products. I'm an old school fanboy. Nowadays, fanboy has a very negative connotation attached to it. Fanboy is just these people that have this toxicity about them that just will like argue you down and like hate you. It's almost like politics. Console wars have become like politics now. There is no in between. It's like this side hates this side, everybody hates everybody. I'm not that guy. I'm a fanboy in the sense that yes, I do enjoy the Xbox over the other consoles, but I mean I have a Switch. I don't have a PlayStation, but I don't have anything against the PlayStation. I just don't have a reason to buy one right now. And hey, there's great games on PlayStation. There's great games on Xbox. I think there's great games on all of it. It's just my platform of choice. And one of the things that really has always made the Xbox, since 2002 at least, even more enticing over the competition is their online service, Xbox Live. They pioneered a lot of stuff with Xbox Live. Xbox Live was the first one, and we're not talking about PC here. It was the first console, and really just the first overall to have a unified, like, online infrastructure that everything falls onto you're not playing individual games that have their own individual online worlds. Everything falls into the games are now taking place in this one unified playground called Xbox Live. All your friends are there. Your everything, your friends, your games, everything is connected to Xbox Live. And that worked great for them. You had voice chat, you had all these things, which voice chat, could be great, could be really fucking annoying depending on what you're playing, who you're playing with. But overall, it was a pioneer. I mean, Xbox Live did a lot of stuff that we take for granted now, that all the other manufacturers, with the exception of Nintendo, because they're like so far behind on the online space. But you know what I mean? They pioneered a lot of stuff. And they charged for it. I think they've raised the price of Xbox Live one time since it came out in 2002. I was a beta tester for Xbox Live. I had it before it went live in 2001. That's why if you look at my gamer tag, it's a year older than some of the oldest ones on there. But I've always been a fan of it. So, I've always been a fan of Microsoft. However, when you do something fucking stupid, I'm going to call you on it. And Microsoft, as much as I love you, you did something fucking stupid, but you did something right after that. So Microsoft, their Xbox Live pricing has been, like I said, pretty much the same since, I think somewhere around in the 360 era, they upped it by a little bit, which makes sense. They're offering a service, and there's lots of stuff that they were adding to it then. They haven't really added anything. I mean, it's still a great service, but they haven't really added anything extra to it, like really to like add any extra value. I've been okay with paying what I've paid for Xbox Live since I've been on there. For I don't know the breakdown of like however much it is, like if you do monthly, 3 months, 6 months, a year. A year has always been, well, since they went up like 10, 12 years ago, it's been $69. It's the price of a game. Price of a game, you get $69. You get two or three free games a month, all that. They recently released not recently, I guess in the past 2 years, released Xbox Game Pass, which is a cool service. It's kind of like the Netflix for games. You're not streaming though. You actually download the games, and you play them all you want for. I think it's overall you get Ultimate Game Pass. You get that. You get Xbox Live, you get all their services into one. You get like EA Origin, all this stuff. It's a great value. But you get all that for like $14 or $15 a month. This is a fantastic value if you play those games, if you like that stuff, if that's what you do. And I think most people, it's a great value for everybody. However, they took this Xbox Live has not changed, but the people that didn't want Game Pass, they recently, the other day, just all of a sudden out of nowhere said, oh, by the way, it's been $69 for all this time. We're raising the price. I don't think that was the problem don't think that's the part that people had a problem with. If they had come out and said, hey, it's going to be $79, something like that, okay, sure, fine. No, it's going to be $120 fucking a year now. What? People were like, what the fuck? Now, in their defense, if you were already a subscriber, you would stay at the price you had been at. But any new subscribers were now going to have to come in and pay $120 fucking for this service, which by comparison, Sony has their PlayStation Network or whatever, PSN, is their version of Xbox Live. It's not as, my understanding and what I've seen, it's not as streamlined and as good as Xbox Live. But I mean, it's pretty much the same. I mean, it's not terrible or anything. It hasn't been around quite as long, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not bashing it. It charges $69. The prices were the same. And believe me, Sony's not going to bring that up to $120. I mean, I guess if everybody went with the $120 Xbox Live thing, it would have. But nobody did. Everybody was like, what the fuck? This was clearly a way for them to push people into Game Pass. Because they've been pushing Game Pass fucking hard. They want everybody subscribed to Game Pass. Because if you subscribe to Game Pass, you're also a part of Gold. Xbox Live Gold. And they wanted everybody on Game Pass. That's their shit. They're doing big things with Game Pass. I think Game Pass is a great value. Absolutely. All their first-party games come out day one on there. You don't have to pay for anything. Like, they got this new game coming out this week, a big exclusive for the platform. Well, an exclusive for the platform. Looks really cool, called The Medium. It's a first-party published game, so I don't even have to pay for it. I've already downloaded the damn game. It comes out on Tuesday. Wait. Today. Okay, it's out. It just came out today. I need to go play that. But I didn't even have to pay for it. I downloaded it the other night in advance, and I just get it because I'm a subscriber to Game Pass. It is a great value, but people don't want to be forced into something that they don't necessarily want. And that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to jack up the price of Xbox Live Gold so much that people would just say, well, for a few extra dollars, I'll just do Game Pass. And that pissed off a lot of people. What the fuck were you thinking? What world was this a good idea? I have to think that because Microsoft has been so customer focused they've been doing all the right shit for like some years now. They had a whole last generation, they fucked up a lot of stuff. But the past few generations or the past few years since Phil Spencer took over and really got things to rolling, they've been very customer friendly. They've been just doing great things for the customer. And all of that's like really starting to come to a head. We're about to hopefully start getting all these really cool games and stuff like that. And they just do they give a lot of value to their console through these things that they do. But this was not. This was like a fucking slap in the face. And people didn't like it. People went off about it. And I got to think, did like Phil Spencer and them know it? I mean, he's got to know about it. He's like the guy. He's the head of Xbox. How did he not know that they were just going to take their online service and double it? Now, to be fair, I don't know if they actually doubled it, because if you went month to month, it wasn't double. It went up. Each tier did go up. I don't have it in front of me. But like the only one that was doubled was the yearly one. If you did it month to month, it's still, I think it would end up costing you more than $120 in the long run. But they didn't double the month-to-month price. It was a really weird pricing thing. But albeit said, it's $120 for a fucking year, and that's twice as much. So yeah, they did that, and within, I think it was something like 12 or 18 hours, something like that, there was such a negative backlash to it, they walked it back. So they actually did the right thing. They came back and they apologized. They put out an apology. I think it's on here. And pretty much said, sorry. Yeah, like right here, the official Twitter was like, today was not great. We always try to do our best for you, and today we missed the mark. We hear you, and we're reversing our Xbox Live gold pricing updates. And I mean, I'll give them that. Say what you will. I don't think all companies would do this. Most companies would change something and be like, yeah, that's what it is. Fuck off. Take it or leave it. I don't know if most other companies would make this drastic of a change, but they made a bold change. They got a bold response, and they did something bold in return. They came back and they said, okay, we're going to walk it back, which I think that's noble. But not only did they do that, people have also complained about how some free-to-play online games, which, by the way, nothing is free-to-play. It may be free to play, but they're going to get their money somehow. But anyway, what we call free to play games. When it comes to the Xbox platform, you've had to be a part of Gold to play them, so effectively you've had to pay to play these games. They're removing that. They're walking that back. I don't know if it's exactly yet, but they did say we are making it where, to bring Xbox Live more in line with how we see the player at the center of the experience, we will be removing Gold requirements for free-to-play games. We're starting work on that immediately, and we'll have updates in the coming months. So apparently here soon, you will not have to have Xbox Live Gold to play free-to-play games. I assume you're still going to have it to play other online games, but that's it. I wouldn't be surprised if Xbox Live Gold just goes away. I think that they're going to just cut their losses, and it goes away. Game Pass has been a really big for them and done very well. So I don't see the purpose of it anymore. Yeah, they have their games with Gold where you get, I think it's 3 free games a month. I always download them. They stagger them, so it's kind of hard to tell how many you're getting every month. You get like 2 or 3 games free. Maybe it's 3 or 4. I don't know. I get free shit from them every month. It's a crapshoot. Some months it's kind of like, okay, that's fine. And some months it's like, oh, that's pretty good. But yeah, you get free stuff from them, but I wouldn't say that's why I'm subscribed to it. Honestly, I don't know why I am, because I don't really play online games that much. And by that much, I mean like never. And you don't have to have it to be connected to the internet and have online services. So I am probably the kind of subscriber that they want on Gold, that I don't really use it for what it's needed. I mean, I get the free games every month, but I don't really use it for like online stuff, but I still subscribe to it. I should probably look into that. Anyway, I wouldn't be surprised that if by the end of the year, Xbox Live Gold is just phased out somehow, and it's just online is all free. If they did that, I think that would be a really good customer-facing kind of move for them, because then that pushes on Sony and says, hey, our service is just free. You don't have to have pay for an online service. You don't have to pay to go online and play games anymore. I think that's where they're moving. I think they want to get away from Xbox Live Gold. I think they want to keep Xbox Live. I just think they want it free. Could be totally fucking wrong, but I definitely know that they want your ass in Game Pass. And I will say from personal experience, Game Pass is a great value. It's a great value if you have an Xbox, especially if you have an Xbox and a PC. I strongly recommend it. You can get it pretty cheap right now. But yeah, that does it for the news this week. I know I usually focus more on movies, and that's always going to be the case. But this was a story that I really wanted to touch on and talk about, because this is a big deal. I mean, it's been this way for a long time, and they just came out of nowhere with this insane pricing change. I don't know who the fuck thought that was a good idea. I mean, who said? And the tweet that they put out announcing it didn't even have anybody's name assigned to it. Like typically when they release these things, they have like a name assigned to say, hey, whoever writes it, it'll be like Phil from Phil Spencer or Matt Booty or whoever's, and some Xbox person. This one said like the Xbox Live team. Nobody wanted to put their name on that shit. But hey, you know what? Good on them. They fucked up and they owned it. You know what? Like I tell my kids, you're gonna fuck up. When you do, don't give me shit. Don't give me fucking excuses. Just own up to it. Own it. You fucked up. Say, oop, I fucked up. No, don't say you fucked up to me. Not my kids. If you do, I'm going to bust your ass for cussing at me. But say I screwed up. Say I screwed up and I own it. My bad. I won't do it again. And that's what they did. Good on you, Xbox. You're becoming an adult. So yeah, that'll do it for the news this week. I got a couple of trailers I want to look at before we get out of here. This came out. This trailer came out, and everybody was doing trailer reactions to it. I don't typically do trailer reactions. I did one for like Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. That worked out great. And Dune. I did one for Star Wars just because I'm a big Star Wars fan. I did one for Dune because I was actually testing out my streaming stuff. So I actually streamed it, the new stream thing for YouTube. And I went ahead and tested it out, and Dune was coming out. I'm a big Dune fan. I don't know. I don't feel like people really want to watch me watch a trailer and be like, because I mean, really, I don't talk while I watch stuff usually. So, I mean, I'll try and like comment here or there, but typically if you just watch me like play a game normally or watch a movie, I'm like, that doesn't look like a good time. But we're going to take a look at these two trailers right here because both of them came out this week and they are kind of a big deal. I have not watched them. Neither of these. I've been wanting to watch this one because it came out Sunday, but I said, no, I want to watch that on the podcast. So this will actually be the first time I've watched this trailer. When it comes to Godzilla, I really liked the 2014 Godzilla. And I thought that King of the Monsters was a bit disappointing. I thought it looked great, had lots of great monsters and all that, but overall I was a bit disappointed in King of the Monsters because it just, I don't know, the trailer was fucking awesome. I was so hyped for that movie. Maybe I hyped it up too much, and when I saw it, that's why I was disappointed. Maybe if I went back, it wouldn't be. It wasn't terrible, but it was just, I don't know. It seemed a little hollow. Anywho, let's get going. Here's Godzilla versus King Kong. I like both these properties. I like Kong Skull Island, so let's check this out. Let's see what it's all about. This will be my trailer reaction to Godzilla versus Kong.
This is our only chance.
I think that was stuff from the first movie.
We have to.
Oh, there's Kong. Are they going to show how they caught him? Because the last movie we saw him in was in the 60s or 70s.
Kong. The world needs him to stop what's coming.
What's coming?
And this child.
Is Millie Bobby
She's the
Brown
only
in
one
this?
he'll communicate with.
I knew that they had a bond. She had nowhere to go, so I made a promise.
I have no idea who these characters are. They're all new.
And I think that in some ways, Kong did the same.
So Godzilla's got a little girl, Millie Bobby Brown. Is Kong gonna have a little girl now? Oh, and there's Godzilla. I thought Godzilla was on our side, or we were on his side, or whatever. Why are we shooting him?
It's Godzilla.
It's Godzilla! But Godzilla's like a whole lot bigger than Kong, isn't he? That's what I like about King Kong. He's like a fucking brawler, man. Godzilla's gonna like shoot you with laser breath and shit like that. King Kong will like,
These are dangerous times.
he's just fucking run in there, Mike Tyson, whoop your ass brawler. Hey, that's that guy from the last Godzilla movie. Oh, she is in it, Millie Bobby Brown.
The myths are real.
So like so she's Godzilla's little girl, and this other new girl is, oh, more monsters.
They're the last one standing.
I keep reaching for greatness because I'm built from it.
So why are they fighting? I thought, because they're both kind of goodish.
Kong bows to no one.
That's right, bitch. Oh, that looks cool. Bitch! That looked cool. That did look cool. I want to see that. I'm excited to see that. It's coming out like real soon too. I think in March or something. It's coming out in the next couple of months. So I am kind of excited to see that. But I'm cautiously optimistic because the first, what was it? The last Godzilla movie. What was it called? King of the Monsters. Yeah, I was just talking about it. King of the Monsters like trailer got me super hyped, and I really liked 2014's Godzilla. So when I saw, that trailer for the last one, it was awesome. I was super hyped for it, but I was kind of disappointed in that one. I mean, it was okay, but it just, I don't know, it was missing something. It wasn't as exciting as I wanted it to be, and the human characters, per usual, were just kind of like, what the fuck are they doing here? You're supposed to be focusing on the monsters. I understand we got to have the human characters to kind of push story and stuff along, but it really just, I don't know. I was kind of disappointed in King of the Monsters. I liked Kong Skull Island. I've always liked King Kong as a character. He seems like, just kind of like that guy who wants to be left the fuck alone on his island to just do his thing. But then, like, if you come over and just fuck with him too much, he's like, God damn it. And he's going to come over there and, like, whoop your ass. That's King Kong. He's like, he wouldn't have gone to New York in the original lore or wherever they're taking him here and, like, wreck shit if they just left him the fuck alone. He's like, I just want to be left the fuck alone on my island. You fuckers got to come and just be fucking with shit too much. So, I mean, but that looked cool. It's, you know, it's got the look. It looks like it could be really exciting and fun. It's got the returning characters from the last movie, love them or hate them. The dad character, I had issues with him. I saw him for a second, Millie Bobby Brown's dad in the movie. Can't remember his name, but he was kind of sort of the main character in King of the Monsters. He just didn't really. He was like he would walk into a room and just like knew everything. He'd walk in a room with like the smartest people in the world, and just all of a sudden, he knew nobody could tell him anything. They've been trying to figure out like this issue like for like the whole movie, and he just walks in and be like, this is what we do. I mean, who the fuck are you, man? He had the answer to everything. He was their scapegoat. But the whole thing with the mom, if I remember correctly, she like sacrificed herself, but that didn't really make up for the fact that she was kind of the reason that like probably hundreds of thousands, if not more, people died in that movie. So yeah. It was just kind of disappointing, but I mean, it's okay. Hopefully this one takes a little bit more of a page out of the OG 2014 Godzilla and Kong Skull Island, because I did enjoy both of those. Kong Skull Island was it was a good fun time. It wasn't like super deep, but it was fun. So hopefully it takes a page out of those books a bit more. Looking forward to it though. It looked really cool, that part where they're like fighting in the city. I do wonder why they're fighting, because they're both kind of, like I said, Kong's not bad, but he's not necessarily good. He just wants to be left the fuck alone. He's not going to, like, come, and it looks like they went to get him because they need him. Apparently Godzilla's acting bad because he was kind of good in a way, and that's kind of like what happened to Godzilla in the regular lore, but even in King of the Monsters, he kind of was the good monster. You know, he wrecks shit, but he's not just trying to, like, kill everybody for no reason at all. So I do wonder what's going on with him. Why is he wrecking shit? Assuming he is, because that's why they went and got Kong, it looks like. I don't know. We'll find out in a few months. I'll definitely be watching that when it comes out and giving it a review. So yeah, there it was. Godzilla. Is it Godzilla versus Kong or Kong yeah, Godzilla versus Kong. Right. Okay, so I got one more. We're gonna watch one more. This came out just today. I just heard people talking about it, and I said, "Fuck it, we'll just watch it here on the podcast before we get out of here," because I did have a focus for the podcast, but things went a little bit longer, so I'm going to just talk about it here in a minute. But real quick, let's look at this other trailer for a movie called Raya and the Last Dragon. People are saying good things about it. I don't know anything about this. I haven't heard anything about it, but yeah, it's apparently a CG movie. I'm assuming a kid's movie. I think it's Disney. We're going to find out here in a second. Let's see what we got here.
All right, guys. Remember what we're looking for. And don't trust anyone.
Whoa, what?
Hey, baby. Where are your parents? Hey, who's baby? What?
It's kind of like Boo from Monsters, Inc. Oh,
Really?
shit.
A con baby?
A con baby?
Impressive. We could use someone
Yeah,
like
this is
you.
a kid's movie.
Let's catch you up. My name is Raya. Our lands have been at war for as long as we can remember. Our people never see eye to eye.
My daughter, I believe our people can
I like
come
that
together
look there with that
again,
whole
but someone has to take the first step.
desert thing.
Now, in order to restore
Is this
peace,
like fantasy?
we must find the last dragon.
I wish to join this fellowship of
I'm getting like an Asian feel here, but
Let's go. We'll have
is
to
it more
watch
like
our
a
backs.
fantasy?
We're not
fantasy
the only
feel, I
ones
think.
looking.
Frozen.
6 years of searching. Please let this be it. Oh, mighty Sisu!
Who said that?
We really need your help.
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not like the best dragon. Have you ever done like a group project, but there's like that one kid who didn't pitch in as much, but still ended up with the same grade?
We're doomed.
That was kind of
You
funny.
and the dragon are coming with me.
My sword here says we're not.
Oh, she's got a sword like from fucking Soul Calibur.
The world's broken. You can't trust anyone.
Maybe it's broken because you don't trust anyone. You just have to take the first step.
It's gonna be a message.
I just shape changed.
Dragons can do that?
Look how close my butt is to my head. It's gonna make digestion so much faster.
In theaters or ordered on Disney Plus with Premier Access.
Oh,
March
Premier
5th.
Access. Oh no. Is that going to be another $30 watch like Mulan? How'd that work out for them? Never even heard of that. I didn't know that was coming. So what did I think? It looked cool, I guess. I mean, it's a kids movie. I don't have a problem with kids movie. I got lots of kids, so I see them. It did say from the creators, or I don't know if it said the creators, but it said Frozen. It put Frozen out there, which I get. Frozen was huge, really popular. So, of course, you're going to throw that up there. I have strong feelings about Frozen, though. Strong negative feelings. I have issues with Frozen and everything it stands for. I feel like it's pretty soulless. But, you know, I'm not going to get on that. I'm not going to get on that because I'll start preaching about it. One day, I'll talk about Frozen one day. But I don't like Frozen. But anyway, it's a Disney movie. It looked very Disney, but I did like some stuff about it. I kind of liked what it looked like they were going for, like that fantasy, not full on like Chinese or Asian or whatever you know they were going for there. I'm not sure. I think probably Chinese. But it didn't look like accurate history or anything. It looked like more of a fantasy kind of world. Like they had that desert setting and everything, and they're riding around on these creatures, and of course, dragon and stuff like that. I like that stuff. That stuff looked pretty cool. The dragon, of course, it was like a Disney dragon. It's kind of being goofy and kooky. I don't know. I mean, it could still be fun, but I'd like to see Disney do like one of these stories, and it can still be a family film, but maybe take it a little serious. It's like all their animated movies are that same kind of thing. You're going to have that creature that's kind of goofy, and you know your Olaf or the dragon from Mulan, the old Mulan, and you're going to have that, or the genie, you know, that kooky crazy creature and all that, because you know the kids like that stuff, and everybody's going to throw in like new age, like current day phrases and stuff like that. And I mean, that's fine, I guess. Okay, but I feel like it's not. Try a serious, you know, a more serious tone. I don't mean serious like adult. I know it's Disney, okay? You can have a family film. They can still have humor, but maybe try something serious. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too old for these movies now. Maybe that's all it is. But I think it's just because I'm starting to see, not starting, I've seen that for quite a while. Disney movies are almost, and this is blasphemy to some people I know, but if you've seen one, you've seen them all. They're kind of all, they had that same basic structure. I'm not saying that this one will, maybe it won't, but I mean, it looked like some of the action and stuff looked like it might be cool. It looked like there was some martial arts in there. It looked really nice. It looked pretty. Nothing about the story just like grabbed me, and I said, oh man, I've got to see what happens there. At this point, I feel like I know exactly what's going to happen in the story. Doesn't mean it can't be entertaining, but, you know, we'll see if it's memorable, if it lasts the test of time. Who knows? At this point, I mean, as with everything else, I'll see it when it comes out and then make my judgment. So what'd you guys think of Raya and the Last Dragon? I can't even remember the name of the movie. It's good fun. Yeah, way back when it was sure it looks fun. This looks fun. Okay, and it might be. A fruit ninja. Was there a fruit ninja? I didn't see that. Oh, this looks kind of funny and cute. I'll watch it. I mean, and like I said a minute ago, it could be great. It could be really funny and just really cute, and kids will love it. But I think that a lot of I think this is my problem with it, is the studios take children for granted, and they think that, oh, this is the only thing they respond to is these kind of funny, cute, kind of samey kind of movies, and they don't. I have a lot of kids. I know. Yes, do they respond to that stuff? Sure they do. Because in a lot of cases, they don't have a choice, because that's a lot of what's made for them. So they just got to kind of watch it. But they respond to other things too. And I don't necessarily mean just adult cinema. That sounded really bad. I didn't mean like adult movie, but more mature cinema. And they do that too. But even like family-oriented films that don't treat them like they're just, morons. Kids aren't that dumb. I mean, they're dumb about some shit, but they're not like so dumb that they can't keep up with a movie, and the movie doesn't have to have a goofy character doing something stupid and goofy every few minutes to keep their attention. So yeah, that's all the trailers for this week that I'm going to talk about. You guys have probably already seen all those. I'm late to the party on those. But real quick before we go, I was going to focus on this a bit more and talk about it. And I know some of you may have already seen this, but I did a review of a movie that just came out this week, and I just kind of wanted to put a spotlight on it. And those of you that haven't seen it, more of a spotlight than my little review, and that would be the amazing Psycho Goreman. Now, if you see this poster, now some of you would see this poster and say, oh, that's fucking amazing, I have to see that. But I think the average person sees this poster and says, oh, that belongs in the bargain bin. And you're probably right, but it doesn't. This movie is awesome. This is pure, unadulterated awesomeness. If you grew up if you remember the 90s and have any fond memories of the 90s, you'll like this movie. It's got just, it is the 90s encapsulated into an hour and a half. Like everything awesome about the 90s. And it's corny and goofy, but it's meant to be. And it has this super, super, biting ass, just sense of humor that is fucking hilarious. I have not laughed so much at a movie out loud that I was watching by myself as I did with this one in a long time. I have not laughed this much in a long time. This little girl that we have right here, oh man, what is her name in real life? Preview. This little girl right here, I cannot remember her name. Mimi is her name in the movie, but she was hilarious. The stuff that she does and says in this movie and how she responds to people is just fucking great. Psycho Goreman himself, the things that he says throughout the movie, that's the thing about this movie. Does it have a great story? I mean, no. It's got a very 90s costumed monster, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Guyver, kind of adult, more, adult themed cheapo B-movie storyline, or it's almost like a family film but with tons of gore. It's as odd as that sounds, but it's like the stuff that this guy said, that's what makes it, is the characters and the moments in the movie are what really make this thing work. It's got some of the things, pretty much everything that Psycho Goreman himself says is gold, and everything that she says is gold, and everybody around them. The dad, he's great too. He is fucking hilarious. That's really the only reason I wanted to kind of throw this one out there. I know this is one of those smaller movies that's going to kind of go under the radar, but I feel like this is going to be like a cult classic. This is going to be one of those underground classics that's going to pop up like in a few years, and all of a sudden a ton of people are going to talk about how awesome it is. I mean, this is one of the characters. Look at this thing right here. This looks like something off the fucking Power Rangers. And it did. I mean, that's exactly what it all is. It seems like characters from the Power Rangers, like the way that they're all put together and made, like the suits. They're clearly all suits. Now they all look really good. They move well, but it all stays within that, that if anybody knows of the series called The Guyver from back in the 90s, it's from a Japanese manga, but they made a movie with Mark Hamill in it. He wasn't the Guyver, but it's like those monsters. There's other ones like that from the 90s. Power Rangers is the one that's most well known and comes to mind. It is a lot like that, but super fucking gory. And it's fucking awesome. I mean, this is one of the most fun movies I've seen in quite some time. I mean, look at this sword. This sword he's got here. There's a scene where he makes this sword on the fly. Like he's fighting a character and he starts ripping bones out of them like they're going around fighting. And he's ripping bones and body parts off this person as he's fighting them. And he puts this sword together and this is what he ends up with. And then they continue to fight. Like, that's what fucking kind of crazy ass shit this fucking is. This movie's amazing. Even if you don't remember the 90s and you just like kind of over the top, crazy, funny as fuck movies, check out Psycho Goreman. But if you were a child of the 90s or even the 80s, if you remember the 90s fairly well, like you weren't a baby, but you remember them really well, then check this out. I think you're going to find something to like here. You can watch it on pretty much any service. It's supposed to be on Shudder, but I noticed it wasn't there the other day as of yet. It's supposed to be coming to Shudder. It was supposed to be coming there opening day, which was, I think, last Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that. But it wasn't there as of like Thursday or Friday. It may be there now. It's definitely worth checking out. But even if you got to rent it, it doesn't cost much. It's a few dollars on all the VOD platforms or the ones that I saw it on, and it is absolutely worth it. You will not regret it. It is such a good time, and it's ridiculously over the top. But definitely check out the little girl that plays Mimi in the main little girl in the movie. She is great. That kid is like she's got better comedic timing, and she can't be more than, I don't know, somewhere 12 or 13 years old maybe at best. She's got better comedic timing than half the comedians in Hollywood, especially now. Comedians really suck now. But yeah, Psycho Goreman, absolutely 100% worth checking out. So check it out when you get a chance. And check out my review. I have a review of it that I put up, so check that out. A little bit more detailed look into Psycho Goreman. So that is about it. I do have one more thing. I'm just going to give a tease here for the channel before I talk about a couple of things that will be going on this week that are coming and we get out of here. I have I didn't do the. I was asked for this. I had some people asking me about merch and my merch, which I do not have, but if I am ever going to make some or anything. So I started messing around with it. I had some people just requesting it, not like a ton of people, but I had a couple of people reach out to me and were asking about, was I ever going to do that? What would I do? Yada, yada, yada. So here's the beginning of that. This is not finalized. And this is a really basic version, but I have started a merch store. It's not open to the public as of yet. I've put together a coffee cup. I actually like the coffee cup. I don't have a picture of it here. This is just a picture of the screen. That's why it looks kind of low res. But this is a shirt that I put together. I have some other ideas. I don't know. I felt really fucking weird doing this. I felt so weird making this stuff with I know that's not my image, but it is modeled after me. And just like putting my stuff on these shirts and mugs and shit like that. It made me feel really weird. I felt so vain in doing that and being like, oh, look at me, and shit like that. I don't know. It is, I guess it goes along with the territory. There were a couple of people that requested it, so I'll put it out there and see what happens. I don't expect these to be like huge sellers or anything, but if you're interested in merch that is surrounding my channel, I'm going to try and put something a little bit more creative than just my, logo. Maybe a picture of my review rankings or I don't know, something. But it's coming soon is my point. Merch is coming to my channel soon. Hopefully I will be able to complete this merch store and get it out to you guys quicker than I could get this podcast to you guys when I first announced it back in fucking September and just came out last week. But yeah, coming soon, merch for my channel. If you're interested in that kind of thing, it'll be available soon. Don't know when. Probably in the next few weeks. So that'll do it, guys, ladies, gentlemen. This week I got, like I mentioned a moment ago, I have the review of the movie Happy Cleaners that is not out yet. It comes out February 9th, I think, something like that. The beginning of February. A Korean-American drama worth checking out. I got some other ones I need to check on before I mention them, because I did have 2 movies that I've already viewed that are embargoed, and I get them mixed up with others. I can't remember which ones it is, but I do know tomorrow morning I should be done with it by then. Worst case scenario, Thursday morning, my next in line for my video game movie review series number 48, which would be what the fuck is the name of that movie? Assassin's Creed, number 48 in the video game movie review series. I think I'm down to less than 10 now, less than 10 to go until the end, because I'd already done some of the newer movies that are in the 50s and I think 60s. But I've got less than 10 movies to go with this series now. So it is coming to an end finally. But yeah, Assassin's Creed, that review will be up tomorrow or at worst case the next day. And I don't think there's anything really big I have coming next week off the top of my head. I've got a few screeners, but like I said, I don't want to mention which ones because a couple of them did have embargoes attached to them, and I don't want to talk about them if they're embargoed. I don't think there's anything wrong with talking about them. I just can't really say anything about them. But I don't even want to push that. I'm still kind of, I want to stay on my distributor's good graces. But yeah, reviews coming every week, or every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. All right, guys. Thanks. I'll see you guys next week. Keep it real. Peace.